So yes. So yesterday, so okay, yesterday, so we have seen working with these operators. Yeah, after this, okay, I said working with this conditional operators. So how this conditional operator? I said conditional operator is a ternary operator, and which required how many operands here? Three operands. So this operator is used to evaluate the expression based on some condition or some test here. Okay. So if the condition is a true, then it evaluates the expression one. If the condition is a false, then it evaluates what expression two. And the result of this particular expression is assigned to what variable, right? So if result of test is true, PVM evaluates expression one and assign result to the variable. If result of test is a false, PVM evaluates expression two and assign result to what variable. So this is what I said, like finding input character is vowel or not, and person is eligible to vote. Now I said like most of the students have sent, but not checked all the students, but I'll check because lot of, I mean, not only that, you send each program as 1 mail. So put all the programs in one document, okay, and send it. So most of the students have done, but whatever I see, now some students have done with the conditional statement. Conditional statement means they have done with like this. If condition, there is a block. But we have not come across this conditional statements. Okay. We have not come across this conditional statement. I said you to do using conditional operator, not using conditional statement. Conditional statements doesn't return any values. Conditional statement will not return any value, but conditional operator after evaluating it returns some value. Expression return value, but statement doesn't return what here value. So I said you to do it by using conditional operator. Going on, suppose leap year mod 4 is if year mod 4 equal to 0, then it is what here leap year. In the same way, finding the max of two numbers. Okay, so you can write multiple conditions. Year mod 4 equal to 0, year mod 100, year mod what 400, right? So then you can say that year is called as which year? Leap year. Finding the max of two numbers, like you input two numbers like A and B, and then C here. So there is a multiple logics out there. For example, finding the max of two numbers. So input which value? A value. Enter value of A. So B equal to integer of input, enter value of B. So enter value of A, enter value of A and enter value of B. Then C, A if A is greater than B, Else what is that? B. That's it. If A is greater than B, assign A value to what? C. If A is not greater than B, then assign B value to what? C. So print, so format. So max of A and B. So I'm not checking equality. A and B is what here? C. Okay, max of A and B is what here? C value. So inside the string, you are inserting A value. Inside the string, you are inserting B value as well as C value. So this is how you are trying to do it. Okay, right now there is a value and there is a B value. Now you can see the max of 10 and 5 is what? 10. Okay, now you try to execute again. Now this is 10 and 20 and max of 10 and 20 is what here? 20. Okay, but even though if I give equal, suppose 10 and 10, max of 10 and 10 is what here? 10. Suppose A value is 10 and B value is also 10. Is it 10 is greater than 10? Is it 10 is greater than 10? No. Condition is what here? False. If it is a false, it execute which part? Else part. And it will assign which value? B value to what? C. Which is nothing but 10 here. Right? If it is equal, it will try to assign B value to what? C. Right? Very simple. Now only one statement is there. Very simple. There is only one statement, that is based on this condition, you assign either A value. Based on this condition, you assign either which value? B value, right? So in the same way, now suppose finding the result, whether is pass or fail. So I said you to input name and two subject marks. So name equal to input. How you write it? Enter name. So you have to input subject 1 marks. So integer of input, enter subject 1 marks. Okay. And subject 2 equal to integer of input, enter subject 2 marks. Then after that, I'm trying to say result equal to pass if subject 1 is greater than or equal to 40 and subject 2 is greater than or equal to 40. So if subject 1 is greater than or equal to 40 and subject 2 is also greater than or equal to 40, then it will assign which value? Pass to variable called result. Suppose if any one subject is fail, then you are assigning one value. What is the value? Fail. So this value you are assigning to which variable? Result. So here, if this condition is a true, for example, I input the subject 1 is 50. I input the subject 2 is what? 60. Is it 50 is greater than 40? Yes. If the first one is a true, will it evaluate the second one? Yes. Because this is which operation? And operation, first condition is true, then it evaluate second one. So is it 50 is greater than or equal to 40? Yes. Then it evaluate the second one. Now 60 is greater than or equal to 40? Yes. Now true and true, this becomes what here? True. If it is a true, it will assign which value? Pass. Okay, suppose this I input some 30. Is it 30 is greater than or equal to 40? No. Condition is what here? False. If the first one is false, will it evaluate second one? No, because this is which operation? And so this result, this condition become false. If it is a false, it will assign which value? Fail. Simple, right? So print format name is result. So name is So I just take so I try to input the name and then subject 1 and subject 2. Okay, see Naresh is what here? Pause. Okay. Now I try to input some 40 and sorry, I try to input. So this is the name of the student and this is subject 1 and subject 2. Now Suresh is what here? Fail. Okay, now based on this test, based on this test, okay, based on this test, you are evaluating either operand 1 or operand 2. So this is a condition. Based on this condition, either you evaluate this part, if part or else part. But when else is evaluated, if the test condition is what here? Fail. If this condition is fail, it evaluate else part. If this condition is a true, then it evaluate which part? If. So that is where you find the difference. Right now, these are, I think you have done like this. Yes. You have done like this or not? If you are done, fine. Otherwise, you can just see what you have done, right? Okay. Now you can have a multiple conditional operators. So multiple, you can have more than one. So you can have more than one conditional operators. So this is multiple conditional operators. So within expression. Now in one expression, you are using multiple conditional operators. Okay, generally one expression, in one expression, you can use one operator either one time or more than one time. Suppose if I'm writing 10 plus 20, in this expression, plus is used how many times? One time. I can say 10 plus 20 plus 30. Now plus is used how many times? More than one time. It means 10 plus 20 is a 30 and 30 plus 30 is what? 60. In the same way, in one expression, I can use more than one conditional operator. In one expression, I can use more than one conditional operator. I can use more than one conditional operator. In one expression, I can use more than one conditional operators. So using more than one conditional operator within expression is called a nested. It's called a nested conditional operators. Nested means followed by another. Okay, followed by which one? Another. So it is done like this. Now it is yours. Now the syntax is yours. The syntax is used to verify, okay, more than one condition. It means if one condition is fail, then immediately you want to check one more condition. Here, how many conditions are there in this example? How many conditions are there? Only one condition. Okay, how many conditions are there here? Only one condition, but I want to check more than one condition. Then you go for multiple conditional operators within expression. But how it is? For example, you'll write like this variable. Okay, so variable, then you'll say expression 1, if test 1, else expression 2. Okay, if test 2. Okay, else I'm writing expression 3. Like this, you can have any number of. Like this, you can have any number of. So, how many conditional operators I use? See here, if, else, and again if, and what is that? Else. In one expression, I used how many conditional operators? More than one. So that you can call it as which one? Multiple conditional operators. Expression one if test, expression one if test one, else expression two if test two, else expression three. Now you can have any number of. So what will happen if the condition one is a true? It evaluate what here? Expression one, and result of expression one is assigned to what? Variable. Suppose if this condition is a false, then it will check this condition, test two. If the condition two is a true, then it evaluate the expression two and assign the result to what? Variable. If this condition is a false, then it evaluate the expression three and assign to what here? Variable. We are talking about conditional operators. Okay. Conditional operators are only if and else. So that we'll see later here. Okay, right? So this is how you write using multiple conditional operators within the expression, and that is called as multiple conditional operators. So in this case, if test one is true, if test one is true, what will happen? PVM evaluates PVM evaluates which one? Expression one and assign result to what here? Variable. Suppose if test one is false, if test one is a false, what will happen? PVM evaluates what here? Test two. PVM evaluates. Okay, PVM evaluates which one? Test two. And if test two is a true, okay, if test two is a true, it evaluates which one? Expression two and return result two and return and return result to what here? Variable. Suppose if test one comma test two are false, so PVM what here? Evaluates what? Expression three and assign result to which one? Variable. So if the first test is fail, then it will check the second test. If the second test is fail, then it evaluate what? Expression three. If the first test is a fail, but second test is what? Pass, then it evaluate what? Expression two. If the first test is pass, then it evaluate what? Expression one. So what is the meaning of this here? For example, suppose if you see this, how you are writing this. So evaluation is based on some test here. How this is, for example, I'm writing some A. So A equal to, I just write A equal to Python. Okay, A equal to Python if true. Okay, else I'm writing here Java if true. Okay, else I'm writing .NET. See here. How many conditional operators are there? See here, if else and if else. How many conditional operators are there? Two. If this is fail, then only it will check this. But is it this condition is a true or false? True. If it is a true, it evaluate which one? Python. And this Python is assigned to which variable? A. Right? So what is the result of this here? Python. The value of A is what here? Python. Suppose if I'm writing A equal to Python, if true, if false, else I'm writing which one? Java. If true, okay, else I'm writing what here? Dot. Now is it the first condition is a true or false? False. If the first one is a false, then it will evaluate what? Second one. And second one is a true or false? True. Then it will assign which one? Java to which one? A. So in this case, what is the value of A? Java. If I'm writing A equal to Python, if false, else Java, if false, else what is said here? Dot. What is the first condition? Is it true or false? False. Then check the second condition. Second condition is a true or false? False. Then execute else part. What is this value? Dot net. Dot net is assigned to what? A. So what is the value of A in this case? Dot net. Ring on. So if the first one is fail, then only it will check the second one. Okay, if the first condition is a false, then only it will check the second condition. If the first condition is a true, then it will not check the second condition, right? For example, so for example, write a program to find some max of three numbers. I want to find the max of three numbers here. So write a program to find the max of three numbers. Okay. So what I'm doing, I try to input three numbers, A value, integer of input, enter value of A, right? So B value and input, enter value of B, then C value, integer of input, enter value of, what is that? C. So I try to input how many values here? Three values. That is A value, B value, and C value. Then D equal to A. D equal to, you should assign A. When, if what? A is greater than B and A is greater than C. Okay, if A is greater than B and A is greater than C, which value is assigned to D? A value. Okay. Suppose if this condition is fail, else assign which value? B value. When should I assign B value? If some B is greater than A and B is greater than what? C. Going on it. Else, now assign B value if B is greater than C and B is greater than B is greater than A and B is greater than C. Else assign which value? C value. Else assign which value? C value. If C is greater than A and C is greater than what? B. Okay. Else assign what here? Equal. Else I want to assign which one? Equal. I want to assign which one? Equal. All these values are equal. Okay. So then I'm printing result is format. Okay. Result is what is the result here? D. Okay. Now if I run this, now the value of A is a 10. The value of B is a 5. The value of C is a 9. Now what is the result here? 10. Okay. Because in this 10, 5, 9, which one is the maximum? 10 is the maximum. I'll try to execute some 10, some 30 and 20. Which one is a maximum? 30 is a maximum. If I enter some 10, 10 and some 50, which one is a maximum? 50 is a maximum. If I enter 10, 10 and 10, now what is the result here? Equal. Ring on. So if first one condition is fail, then immediately you are checking what? Another condition. If this condition is fail, immediately you are checking what? Another condition. So if this condition is true, then it will assign C to what? D. If this condition is a true, then it will assign B to what? D. If this condition is a true, then it will assign A to what? D. Very simple. Okay. is an expression. It is a expression, conditional expression. Okay. Suppose assume that okay, right now what we are doing is yes. Ah, ah, ah. एक बार करके देखो कौन सा ये मैक्स ऑफ टू नंबर्स మరి ఈక్వల్ नहीं देना ना गलत आता आप आता मत टेस्ट करना एक बार टेस्ट नहीं करना बहुत सारे वैल्यूज देके टेस्ट कर एक बार 10-20 देके रिजल्ट आया नहीं बोलना यार 10-10 देके 10-10 दो 10-10 दिए तो क्या होता 10-10 दिए कौन सा वैल्यू प्रिंट हुआ ए वैल्यू बी वैल्यू मगर आप कंडीशन क्या चेक करें ए इज ग्रेटर देन आर इक्वल टू बी फिर इक्वल क्या हुआ इक्वल है क्या सो इसलिए ग्रेटर देन अलग है इक्वल अलग है सही है नहीं हाँ राइट so based on one condition yes for example suppose now again I am writing one more write a program to find input number is suppose positive number or negative number or zero. I want to know whether input number is it positive number or negative number or zero. So I want to find out this. Okay. For example, enter the number integer of input enter any number. Enter any number. So after reading the number, what you have to do? You have to verify is it number is positive or negative or zero. So result is I'm assigning which number positive. When it is positive, if number I just
Recording in
displayed the result.
progress.
Enter any character. The character is C. What is C now? Alphabet. C means A is a 65, B is a 66, C is what? 67. 67 is greater than or equal to 65? Yes. 67 is less than or equal to 90? Yes. If the first condition is a true, will it evaluate second one? No. It will return which one? Alphabet. So I run this. Again, this time I enter the digit called some 5. Now 5 is what here? Digit. So all these logics are useful. All these logics are useful in application. Now star is there. Now what is a star here? Special character. But how you are verifying it? By just writing a simple conditions. You can compare the characters by using which operator? Relational operator. So that is greater than or equal to and less than or equal. Suppose you can compare. Suppose you'll write A is greater than or C is greater than or equal to which one? A. Can you say C is greater than or equal to A? Yes. What is the value written? True. But how it compares by taking which value? ASCII value. How can I find the ASCII value? ORD. I'll take ORD of C. What is ORD of C? 67. If I say ORD of A, what is ORD of A? 65. Is it 67 is greater than 65? Yes. This is how it will compare. Suppose if I'm writing suppose assume that some 3 is greater than 3 is greater than or equal to what? 9. 3 is greater than or equal to 9, right? No, that is based on your requirement, not like this. You cannot say that. Okay. Now, is it 3 is greater than or equal to 9? Yes. Okay. Now, 3 is not greater than, say, 3 is greater than or equal to 9. What is the value written here? False. Array, what? What is the value written here? False, right? But is it true or false? But actually 3 is not greater than, right? Okay, 3 is less than or equal to 9. 3 is less than or equal to 9. What is the value written? True. So you can take ORD of which value? 3. What is ORD of 3? 51. What is ORD of 9? What is ORD of 9? 57. Is it 51 is less than 57? Yes. ORD, which will written ASCII value. Or you can enter only one digit here, Anshul. Okay. One digit I said. One character means minus 5 means 1 or 2. Minus 5 means 1 or 2. Character here, character. Enter only one character. Minus 5 means that becomes how many characters? Two characters, not one character it is. Okay. Now this is how it is. Now this is just to understand evaluating simple expressions, but expressions return value. Expression returns the value, right? Expression can be assigned to a variable. Expression result can be assigned to what? Variable here, right? So this is how it is. Now this is a special character. अरे -5 कितना होगा यार? एक हुआ, दो हुआ? अरे उनको ही बोला मैं, अब नहीं सुने क्या? -5, अरे -5 सिंगल कोर्स में स्ट्रिंग दिया तो क्या होता है यार? अगर -5 कितना हुआ? दो है, एक ही है? दो है ना? क्या है? आईफन है, 5 है, वो माइनस नहीं होता। किसके अंदर है वो? सिंगल कोट्स के अंदर है। -5 है और -5 है, माइनस -5 है, -5. अरे क्या यार, हाँ, it's not a -5, it is what, -5. What I said, my question is what here? Input a character, write a program to find input character. Character बोला मैं. A character, -5 is a character. How many characters? 2 characters. Not one character, right? Okay. What here? समझ लो यार, प्रॉब्लम समझ लेना पहले, जल्दीबाजी में नहीं लिखना यार. हाँ, जल्दीबाजी में लिखे तो रॉन्ग हो जाता. सोचना पहले. मैं क्वेश्चन कर देखो. If -5 is 2 characters, +5 also. ये पूछने की है क्या यार, क्या है यार इन्होंने, हाँ, फिर पूछ रहा है इन्होंने. संस्कार भाई. हाँ, if -5 is 2 characters, +5 also. एक है, दो है यार, दो ही है. अरे how you people become data scientists यार, हाँ, if you don't know plus and minus, हाँ, -5 दो कैरेक्टर्स रहे तो +5 भी दो कैरेक्टर ही है ना यार. क्या हुआ यार, किधर जा रहे हैं आप लोग. हाँ, प्लस है, 5 है, कितने कैरेक्टर्स है यार, दो ही है ना. अलग सा सोच रहे हैं आप लोग. हाँ, एक ही कैरेक्टर यार, एक ही. अगर इसके अंदर कितने कैरेक्टर्स है, एक ही है, 5 है, एक ही कैरेक्टर. +5 बोले तो कितना हुआ, दो हो गए ना. प्लस इज 1 कैरेक्टर एंड 5 इज 1 कैरेक्टर. गलत है. हाँ, सोचना आप. कैरेक्टर बोला यार, कैरेक्टर बोले तो अगर स्ट्रिंग के अंदर कैरेक्टर रहे तो इट इज नॉट, इट इज अ कैरेक्टर, इट इज नॉट नंबर. दिस इज अ नंबर. -5 is a number, character. It is there in single quotes, right? Is it number or character? Character. String, it is string. How many characters are there? 2 are there. String. It's not a number, it is a string. Can you multiply -5 into -5? ऐसे लिख सकते हैं क्या, लिख सकते हैं, नहीं लिख सकते. Can you do arithmetic on strings? No. Type error, गालियां देता हो ना. हाँ, type error. So cannot multiply sequences by non-integer of type string. क्या यार आप लोग क्या की सोचा, मगर आप लोग बहुत पीछे है. ना यार इन्हों बोला, इधर इन्हों बोला if we input negative value, explain करा ना, फिर प्लस से इनपुट करे तो क्या होता, वही होता ना. in the place of minus you put what, plus. but I said character. स्ट्रिंग के अंदर अल्फाबेट है, स्पेशल कैरेक्टर है, डिजिट है, फाइंड आउट करना है. इनपुट कैरेक्टर, find input character is alphabet or digit or special character. Inside the string, you have an alphabet, digit or special character. Only one character you have to enter, not 2 characters, right? Okay. So now this is, you can write multiple. For example, a business application if you take. Okay, suppose write a program to find which one, some road tax. Write a program to find what, road tax based on, so based on the price of a bike. Based on the price of the bike, you have to calculate what, road tax. If the bike price is greater than 1 lakh, if the bike price is greater than 1 lakh, you have to charge some 15% road tax. If the bike price is, okay, greater than 50,000 and less than less than or equal to 1 lakh, then road tax is 10%. If price is less than or equal to 50,000, road tax is some 5% of a bike price. Okay, if it is less than or equal to 50,000, this is greater than 50,000 and less than or equal to 1 lakh. And if the bike price is greater than 1 lakh, you have to charge how much? 15% road tax. Okay, then tell me here, you have to input what here? Bike price. You have to input the bike price. Price you have to input. Float off. Input what? Bike price. Then tell me. Tax, right? Tax equal to how much percent? Price into what? 15 divided by 100. Price into 15 divided by 100. 15%. When if a price is greater than 1 lakh. If the price is greater than 1 lakh, you are calculating how much percentage? 15 percentage. Else, else you have to calculate how much percentage? 10 percentage. When if price is greater than 50,000 and price is less than or equal to what? 1 lakh. If price is less than or equal to 1 lakh, okay, else anyway, you have to calculate price into how much percentage? 5%. Price is less than or equal to 1 lakh. Else, how much percentage you are calculating? 5%. If first two conditions are false, then it will check the last one. What is the last one? Else. So here, tax, now you are calculating 15%. You are calculating tax as a 15% when if the price is greater than 1 lakh. Else you are calculating 10% if price is greater than 50,000 and price is less than or equal to 1 lakh. Otherwise, you are calculating how much percentage? 5%. But are you checked any condition? Last condition is there or not there? Not there. Because directly else, when it is else is executed if both are false. If the both are false, it execute else, right? So print format. So I write in multi lines. So bike price. So I just print the price with how many decimal places? 2 decimal places. And road tax. So road tax, I just print tax with how many decimal places? 2 decimal places. Then total price, total bike price, including a tax. Okay. Now how much it is? Price plus what is that? Tax. And I'm printing with how many decimal places? 2 decimal places, right? So it is like this. I try to print all these things. So first I print the bike price. Second, I printed road tax. And this is a total bike price. That is a price plus a tax, which is displayed with how many decimal places? 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. Now, once you run this, now bike price is some 2 lakhs, which is greater than 1 lakh or not? Yes. So how much percentage? 15 percentage. So 15 percentage is how much? 30,000. Now this is a bike price and this is road tax and this is total bike price. Okay. Now I try to input. Assume that 90,000. Okay. 90,000 means how much? 10%. 90,000, 10% is what? 9,000. And this is a total bike price. I try to input. The bike price is 45,000. How much percentage? 5%. So what is the 5% here? 2250. And this is a total bike price. Now this is a first condition. And this is a, sorry, this is a second condition. And this is a last one. If two conditions are fail, it will try to check which one? Last one. Else is executed. But here you require both. If as well as what? Else. Here you require both. If as well as else. You required if as well as else. Both are required. Now this is a program here. So see here. Now if you see this code chef is there. Code chef. Now go to the practice. Open codechef.com and open which one? Practice. Open practice here. So where you can start practicing. Where you can start practicing it. Now see here. You start with the beginner level. Not expert level, beginner level, and start with the 0, 1 first program. So problem statement is there. See here. Write a program that takes a number n as the input and print it to the output. Simple. Input, output. So here the only line contains a single integer and output the answer in single line. Simple. So what is the input is given? 123. And what is the output is given? 123. What is the input is given? 15. And what is the output? 15. Input 15, output 15. Okay. So this is a problem statement and go to where? ID. Now select which language? Python 3. Don't select PyPy. Select Python 3. So what do you write here? So there is an input statement and there is a output statement, right? So what is the input statement? Enter the number, integer of input. And what is the output statement? Print n. So only input and output. Basics. Okay, then what do you do? Run the code. Run the code here. Now you have to log in. So you have to run the code. Okay, run the code here. Okay, right? Yes. Now then continue here. Now successfully what here? Executed. I input 123 and output is what? 123. Now you have to start writing it one by one. Now again go to the practice. First program we have done. Okay, first program we have done, right? Okay. Okay, now this is how it is. So tax saving is there. Any problem you take it. Tax saving. Now you can see in Chefland, right? Everyone who earns strictly more than Y rupees per year now has to pay a tax to a chef, and chef has allowed a special scheme where you can invest any amount of money and claim exemption for it. You have earned X of X is greater than Y rupees this year. Find the minimum amount of money you have invested so that you do not have to pay tax this year. Now you have to find out whether you pay able to, I mean, you are eligible to pay the tax or you are exempted from tax. The first line input contains a single integer, that is t. So denote the number of test cases, but we have not come across this. Number of test cases means you have to put inside one looping statement. So that can be either for loop or what is that? While loop. Now each test case consists of single line of input consisting two spaces, separated integers x and y, denoting the amount you earned and the amount above which you will pay, you will have to pay what? Tax. For each test case, output a single integer denoting the minimum amount you need to invest. For example, see how many test cases are there here? 4. But anyway, this problem you have to do it by using looping statement, but we have not come across looping statement. We just skip this, right? But till now, whatever we have done, okay, till now, whatever we have done means we have done up to operators only, right? We have not come across conditional statements. We have not come across which one? Looping statements. So once we come across conditional statements and looping statements, then you can solve those kind of problems also, right? Now this is how you work with the operators. Okay. So operators, see here, all these are operators. Okay. So we have seen all these operators, right? Comparison operator, assignment operators, logical operator, bitwise, shift membership, identity, ternary operator means which one is ternary here? Conditional operator, an operator precedency and difference between is and what is that? Double equal. The next one, what you have is a control statement. Okay. Control statements are there. And after this, data structures and collections, where we'll talk about list, tuple, set, dictionaries, and all these things, right? Yes. Now let us move into another chapter, which is called as a control statements. Control statements is there. Control statements. So next one is a control statements here. Control statements. Now in control statements, you have a conditional control statements. There is a conditional control statements. So you will be learning all this here. So there is a nested if, and there is a loop control statements. So there is a loop control statements, and there is a for loop, and there is one more which is called as a while. And there is a nested looping and branching statements. Nested looping statements here. This is also part of loop control statements. And there's one more which is called as a branching statements. So there is a break and continue. And there is a statement called pass. And there's one more statement called which one? Return. And some examples. Case studies means examples, right? So this is a chapter content. So control statements and conditional control statements, looping control statements, and one more is what? branching statements, conditional control statements, looping control statements, and branching statements. But what is the use of control statements? Okay, what is the need of? What is the need of? What is that here? Control statements. What is the need of control statements? So generally control statements are used. Control statements are used to control the flow of execution of program. To control the flow of execution of program. Control statements are used. Why we are using a control statements? We are using a control statements to control the flow of execution of what? Program. Flow of execution of program. Okay. You are controlling it by using which one? Control statements. Suppose a given problem, generally a given problem can be solved in different ways. A given problem can be solved in different ways. A given problem can be solved in different ways. Means you have a different types of algorithms. Now there is an algorithm called sequential algorithm. So whereas in sequential algorithm, you try to solve a given problem by executing all the statements one by one. You try to solve a given problem by executing all the statements of one by one. Means first you execute first statement, then second statement, third statement, fourth statement, fifth statement. So this is called as which one? Sequential. For example, I want to write a program for adding two numbers. What do you do it? First you input first number, then in second line you input second number, and in third line what do you do it? Add it, and in fourth line what do you do it? Print it. How you are solving it? By executing all the statements one by one. So that you call it as which one? Sequential. Which algorithm it is? Sequential algorithm. Suppose I want to write a program to find the area of circle. How can I find the area of circle? Now input radius of circle. Then after that calculate the area and then print area of circle. Now what is the first statement? Input. What is the second statement? Calculating area. What is the third statement? Printing area. It means you are executing all the statements of one by one. To solve a problem, you are executing all the statements of one by one, and that you call it as which algorithm? Sequential. But there is one more algorithm is there, which is called as selection. There's one more algorithm is there, and what is that algorithm is? Selection algorithm. So what will happen in selection algorithm is you try to execute the statements. You try to execute the statements based on selection. You try to execute the statements based on selection or based on what? Condition. For example, so there is a first statement and there is a second statement and there is a third statement. Then there is a fourth statement, fifth statement, sixth statement, seventh statement. And there is a eighth statement, ninth statement, 10, and what is that? 11. So these many number of statements are there, but I want to execute. After executing first, second, third, based on the third, I want to execute either 4, 5, 6, 7, or I want to execute 8, 9, 10, and what is that? 11. Now, based on the selection, I may execute this block of statements, or based on the selection or condition, I may execute this block of statements. Now that you can call it as which algorithm? Selection algorithm. It means based on the condition you are moving the execution control either this part or you are moving to which one? This part. For example, suppose assume that I am developing a login. Login is there. Login where you enter username and password. You enter username and password, and based on the input username and password, I try to perform certain operations. Suppose if the username and password is correct, I want to display the welcome I want to display the welcome logic. I want to display the welcome logic. If the username and password is incorrect, then I want to display some error message saying that invalid username and password. It means these statements are there and these statements both are there in your program. But these statements you are executing based on the outcome of which one condition. If the condition is a true, you are executing this block of statements. If the condition is a false, you are executing this block of statements. This block of statements, if the condition is false, you are executing this block of statements, right? So that you call it as which algorithm? Selection algorithm. Now, sometimes a given problem, okay, sometimes a given problem you solve it by repeating the same statements again and again. Sometimes you solve the given problem by repeating the same statements again and again. Repetition. For example, there is one file. Assume that there is one file. This file is having some 1,000 records are there. Inside this file, how many records are there? 1,000 records are there. And each time I can read, there is one function. Assume that there is a function called which one? Read. And read is a function. It will read how many records at a time? Only one record. But I want to read how many records? 1,000. But read function will read one record or 1,000 records? One record. Then if I want to read 1,000 records, will you write read 1,000 times? No. You don't write read what? 1,000 times. But rather than writing read 1,000 times, you put this read, you write this read only one time and repeat how many times? 1,000 times. Then how can you repeat one statement number of times? By putting inside which statement? Looping statement. How can you repeat one statement, or how can you repeat a block of statements number of times? You repeat one statement number of times to solve a given problem by putting inside one looping statement. So there are different types of solving the problem. One is a problem can be solved by executing all the statements one by one, and that you call it as which one? Sequential. You may solve the problem by executing the statements based on what? Selection or condition, and that you call it as which algorithm? Selection algorithm. You may solve the problem by repeating the same statement what? Number of times, and that you call it as which algorithm? Iterational algorithm. Then how can I implement this selection algorithm and iterational algorithm? By using which statements? Control statements. So control statements are used to control the flow of execution of program. And these control statements are classified into how many categories here? Three categories. One is conditional, looping, and one more is what? Branching. Control statements. Control statements are classified into some three categories. Okay. Sorry. Control statements are classified into three categories. One is conditional control statements, and second one is looping control statements, and third one is branching statements. And conditional control statements are two. One is if and one more is a match. So here match is introduced in Python 3.10. This is introduced in Python 3.10 version. Okay. So looping control statements are two. One is a while and one more is which one? For. And branching statements are like break, continue, and pass, and one more is a return. Okay. So conditional control statements are two. One is if and one more is a match. And looping control statements are two. One is a while and one more is a for. And branching statements are three. That is a break, continue, pass, and one more is a return. So if you want to build the logics, you cannot build the logics without knowing this control statements. Now, as a Python developer, you must know which one control statements. But if statement, again, you have a different types out there in this. If there is only simple if, and there is a if and else, there is if and else if and else, and there is one more which is called as a nested if. Like this, you have a different types of ifs, right? But there is a difference between conditional statement and conditional expression. There is a difference between conditional statement and conditional expression. Using conditional operator, you can build what? Conditional expression. The expression return the value. See, this is one expression, right? This expression return one value. This particular expression return one value, but conditional statement doesn't return any value. You cannot assign to one variable. Expression can be assigned to what? Variable. A block cannot be assigned to what? Variable. Expression can be assigned to variable. Now it is used for simple. But if it is a complex, then go for which one? Conditional statements, which is called as a block. Okay, expression can be assigned to a variable, but conditional statement cannot be assigned to what? Variable, because it is a block which contain either one or more than one statement, right? So first one is conditional control statement. Conditional control statement. Okay. So whatever we did in conditional expression, you can do it using what? Conditional statements. Conditional control statements, or same thing you can call it as conditional statements. Conditional control statements are the same thing you can call it as conditional statements. So what is the use of conditional statements? Okay. What is the use of conditional statements? Okay, conditional statements. What is the use of conditional statements? Now, conditional statements are used to execute block of statements. To execute what? Block of statements. Block of statements based on condition, or what is that? Test. Block of statements. A block. You are creating one block. Block of statements based on condition, or based on which one? Test. Conditional expression is there and conditional statement is there. Conditional expression evaluate the expression and return value. But conditional statement execute statements based on condition, but it doesn't return any value. Conditional expression return value, but conditional statement doesn't return value. It execute the block of statements based on the condition. It execute block of statements based on the condition. Block of statements. You write either one statement or more than one statement. You include either one statement or more than one statement, right? So Python support two conditional statements. One is a if and one more is what? Match. Python support two conditional statements. Okay, two conditional statements. One is if and one more is which one? Match. So match is similar to switch case in C, C++. Match is similar to a switch case in C and C++ language. Yes, please. Hello. Hello. Which class here? Python. Huh? What time? Okay. So Python support two conditional statements. One is a if and one more is which one? Match. But see, there is a difference between conditional statements and conditional operator. Conditional operator used for creating conditional expression, which return the value. But conditional statement is used to execute a block of statements based on the condition. If condition is a true, I want to execute 100 statements. If condition is a true, I want to execute how many statements? 100 statements. Can you write that in conditional operator? No, you cannot write it. I want to execute a block of statements based on the condition. That I cannot do it by using conditional operator. That is done only by using which statements? Conditional statements. So these are very important for building the logics. Okay. But anyway, we'll talk about this. Otherwise, it's a new topic, right? Control statements. But tomorrow we'll see this, right? About the conditional statements and one more is a looping control statements. But not today, but tomorrow we'll continue this, right? Today I'm not giving any homework, right? So tomorrow I'll give some more examples, right? Okay. Thank you. We'll see tomorrow, right? కోడ్ ఎంటర్ చేశారా? ఇదేనా కరెక్టేనా? మళ్ళీ ఇస్తాను.